Hello and welcome. We are not at end of the learning journey. I hope you loved all the chapters and concepts inside. This course took us on a fascinating journey through the digital transformation of supply chains, covering both the strong foundations and the latest innovations shaping the industry. Let's quickly see what we learned in the entire course. We began with the supply chain foundations, where we explored how supply chains had evolved from simple trade routes to today's global interconnected networks. We discussed how functions such as sourcing, production, distribution, and customer service had played their role. To connect this with technology, we saw how barcodes had improved tracking, RFID had given real-time visibility, EDI had simplified digital document exchange, while sensors and IoT had kept a close eye on goods at every stage. Hopefully you noticed how these simple yet powerful technologies had laid the base for everything advanced that followed. Next, we covered the digital backbone of supply chains. We explored analytics, where descriptive analytics told us what had happened, predictive analytics guided what could happen, and prescriptive analytics suggested what action should be taken. We also discussed control towers providing end-to-end visibility, e-procurement platforms streamlining sourcing, and cloud-based SCM making operations faster and more collaborative. ERP integration was another key part we covered. It ensured that digital supply chains had worked seamlessly with the wider business systems. That was amazing learning, wasn't it? In the next chapter, we moved into artificial intelligence. We defined AI in supply chains and explored subsets such as machine learning, which helped systems learn from past data. We saw how agentic AI had gone a step further by not just predicting but actually taking actions. We compared generative AI with agentic AI, highlighting their strengths. Practical uses stood out: robotic process automation handling repetitive tasks, OCR with NLP making document processing smarter, and chatbots improving customer experience. Hopefully, this gave you a sense of how AI had gone from being just a buzzword to becoming a real game changer. Moving further, we discussed generative tools like ChatGPT and other AI assistants. We compared ChatGPT with Copilot, and we understood that writing the right prompt had been the secret to getting the best results. We then explored blockchain. We saw how it worked like a digital ledger that was tamper-proof and transparent. In supply chains, this had meant better traceability and stronger protection against counterfeits. In robotics and automation, we covered how warehouses had adopted robots for picking, packing, and sorting. Autonomous mobile robots and drones had transformed last-mile delivery. We also discussed computer vision scanning barcodes and detecting defects, and how IoT plus AI had helped in monitoring temperature-sensitive goods in cold chains. That was truly fascinating, because it showed how machines had taken efficiency to the next level. Next, we moved into digital twins and simulation models. We discussed how digital twins had acted as virtual replicas, allowing businesses to monitor operations and test improvements. We also covered scenario planning, where leaders had played out what-if situations without disrupting real systems. Then we talked about trending technologies. AR and VR had brought immersive training and visualization. 3D printing had enabled customized products made on demand. Edge computing had pushed data processing closer to the source, making decisions quicker. Quantum computing had promised future breakthroughs with its ability to process massive calculations at once. And autonomous supply chains had shown us how all these technologies could come together with minimal human intervention. We also covered risks, security, and compliance. We discussed how cybersecurity had become critical, how fraud detection with AI had saved millions, and how ESG reporting had gained importance. We also saw the rise of circular and green supply chains pushing for sustainability. Hopefully this gave you the perspective that technology was not just about speed, it was also about responsibility. Finally, we compared Industry 4.0 and Industry 5.0. Industry 4.0 had integrated IoT, AI, and automation to boost efficiency. Industry 5.0 had gone beyond efficiency by bringing humans back into the center, focusing on collaboration between people and machines. So, in a nutshell, we covered the journey of supply chains from basic barcodes to futuristic quantum computing. We saw how past innovations had shaped today's operations and how new trends were preparing us for tomorrow. Hopefully, you enjoyed this learning path, and now you are ready to see supply chains with a completely new perspective. So in a nutshell, we covered the journey of supply chains from basic barcodes to futuristic quantum computing. We saw how past innovations had shaped today's operations and how new trends were preparing us for tomorrow. Hopefully, you enjoyed this learning path, and now you are ready to see supply chains with a completely new perspective. And before we close, let me leave you with a thought. Every new technology, from barcodes to ERP, from AI to robotics, has always arrived with hype, fear, and excitement. But over time, each has turned into an opportunity. AI will not replace you, but someone who learns and adapts with AI skills might. That's why continuous learning is the real key. Keep exploring, keep upgrading, and keep finding opportunities, because that's how you stay ahead in this amazing journey of technology and supply chains.